Man, oh man, man, I'm gonna tell y'all, bro. I think I saw this coming a while back, but if you don't know, Andrew Schultz has took it upon himself to respond to Kendrick Lamar because he thinks, even though nobody was named, he thinks that Kendrick Lamar was talking about him in Whacked Out Murals when he talked about how a white comedian can't make fun of a black woman. Andrew Schultz has been calling out everybody and calling out Kendrick Lamar ever since he thought that Kendrick was talking about him. Now, the only reason why I say he thought is because Kendrick doesn't say Andrew Schultz's name, but Andrew Schultz is convinced. I guess the internet is convinced that it could be. There's other people out there that say Gary Owen says that it's him. Gary Owen thinks that he's talking about him. There's people that say he could be talking about Matt Rife, but a majority of the internet think that it's Andrew Schultz. And Andrew Schultz was really quick to respond, saying a lot of things about Kendrick Lamar, a lot of things about Kendrick Lamar that were inappropriate. But now Kendrick's people, Kendrick's camp, Kendrick affiliate, Hitta J3, has decided to respond. And he decided to respond to Andrew Schultz. Now, you know, Hitta J3 is very close to Kendrick Lamar, is also on the album, on GNX, the song. He says, come to a comedy show in LA then, tough guy. Oh, that is crazy, bro. Nah, that is crazy. Andrew Schultz got the real ones out. Got the real ones out, bro. I'm telling you, bro. You can tell he's trolling or maybe had his behind played with. Y'all decide. Honestly, he won't get the reaction he's looking for. We don't want to hurt nobody. They're just going to label us the bad guys. Come again? F all that old shit. Bet you he might have the cops around this time. Now he's going off on Schultz, bro. He's going off on Schultz. Tell him to come to LA and do a show. That is crazy, bro. Nah, that is crazy, bro. Telling him to come over and do a show is wild, bro. But yeah, he probably might call the cops. I mean, this is definitely becoming an area where, yeah, definitely going to call the cops. If Kendrick's affiliates and the people who be running LA, people who be going around LA telling you to come do a show in LA, yeah, I definitely should have the cops there at that point. Hitta J3 smart though. He knows, like, nah, it's probably going to be some cops if we ever try to do, you know. I'm just saying that to say he's a pussycat. I bet he moved different, but on the net, he'd be so turned. Andrew Schultz has been turning up on the internet, but it is true. If you were to meet Andrew Schultz in person, if anybody from Kendrick's team, like Hitta J3, if Hitta J3 met Andrew Schultz in person and confronted him about what he said about Kendrick Lamar, yeah, it's not going to be fun and jokes at that point. I'm be real, bro. I mean, I'm just being honest. Like, that's a real confrontation. Like, no, they're not gonna, oh, I was just kidding. Like, no, bro, nah, you're talking about the homie, bro. They rather see us do live for trying to cause a threat to their self. Okay, so now he's gonna, okay, yeah, and this is the point that I'm trying to make. If they try to stand up for Kendrick Lamar, they're gonna look at them and say that they were a threat. They're gonna call the police. They're gonna say all these things. They're gonna say all these things. Too many Jeffrey Dahmers out here. Now this is crazy because Andrew Schultz, and I quote in the nicest way possible, said that he wanted to make love to Kendrick Lamar, and all these outrageous things, all these crazy things that he was saying on the internet. And Hitta J3 is referencing Jeffrey Dahmer, which was a man who was a serial killer who would hunt on black men. So this is definitely what Hitta J3 got jokes. Hitta J3 actually got jokes, bro. Like that, like he might be a comedian too, bro. I'll be real, bro. That is pretty well thought out. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, Andrew Schultz has been saying these actual things about Kendrick Lamar. He's been saying all these things about him. Andrew Schultz making fun of a black man, saying he'll do these things to a black man. Yeah, Hitta J3 got some jokes, bro. But since they think it's cool to air that, what that make them in that podcast? They will sell they self reviews and play it like it's a joke to talk about making love to another man. Yeah, this is what I'm saying, bro. This is exactly what. And Hitta J3 got to a good point, bro. Like, you're now making a joke about this man for content. And I'll be real, bro. Some guys just don't play about their actuality. They don't play about their sexuality. They don't play about, you know, you doing these things to them. Like, there's just some people who don't like that, bro. And then here we have, and I can't share the video because I'll get copyrighted, but it's a video of Pulp Fiction. You know what scene I'm talking about. If we're talking about all this stuff, right? You know what scene about Pulp Fiction that I'm talking about. The scene from Pulp Fiction, if you know what scene I'm talking about, has something to do with what he's talking about with Andrew Schultz and Kendrick Lamar and the jokes that he's making to Kendrick Lamar. If you don't know, go watch Pulp Fiction. But we're not going to make this a racial thing. Calm down. Maybe he had a Pulp Fiction moment. And you know what I'm talking about when I say that? You know what he's talking about when he references this. Yeah, Hitta J3. Yeah, Hitta J3 is really going at Andrew Schultz's neck here. And then he says, LA going to be scared to let him come do another show after that response. Now, I don't think LA is going to be scared, but we know what he means. I don't think LA is going to let Andrew Schultz move comfortably after what he said about Kendrick Lamar. Y'all know I ain't got no filter. Now, he ended everything by saying, since everything is entertaining, take the clown show lead. Now, I feel like Hitta J3 had a couple things to say about Andrew Schultz's response in regards to Kendrick Lamar. I mean, rightfully so. I think that Hitta J3 is just letting Andrew Schultz know, mind you, you still have to come to LA. You still have to do your shows. You still have to be in attendance in our city. So everything that you say, just watch what you say. But then also saying, but if we make threats, we're the bad guy, right? And it drives a good point, because if you make jokes, you're going to say that you're just kidding. But if he tries to defend his friend, you're going to call it threats, right? But if you offend somebody, you're going to call it jokes, which is a good point that Hitta J3 is trying to make. I think a lot of people don't understand that if you say something one way, other people might take it another way. And Andrew Schultz trying to say, oh, well, I wasn't trying to offend nobody. I was just making jokes. And then saying all these things about Kendrick because he doesn't understand why he said what he said. But Hitta J3 saying, but if I defend Kendrick Lamar, you're going to say that I'm threatening you. So this is just a really good example that Hitta J3 is trying to make. But it's a good perspective, though. I mean, Andrew Schultz is out here making jokes. Andrew Schultz is trying to speak up for the things that I guess he thought that Kendrick had said about him. Even though Kendrick didn't say his name, it really got Andrew Schultz out of his comfort zone, because now he's out here trying to respond to everybody. This is crazy because he didn't even name drop. This is crazy because Andrew Schultz is talking more shit about this than anybody that was referenced on the song. Lil Wayne hasn't even said as much shit as Andrew Schultz. You know what I mean? He might have made a post, but that was it. You know, we have Snoop Dogg who took it back right away. Like, if you ask me personally, we don't know who Kendrick Lamar is talking about for sure. We don't know if he's talking about Gary Owen. We don't know if he's talking about Andrew Schultz. We don't know if he's talking about Matt Rife. We don't know who he's talking about exactly. The fact that Andrew Schultz felt like he had to respond because he thinks that he's talking about him it could be two things. Either he really does think that he's talking about him and he got offended and got in his feelings and decided to respond, or he knows that he's not referring to anybody in particular because he didn't say no name, but decides to respond anyways, you know, for the cloud. And obviously this Drake and Kendrick thing is big. He's even talked about it on his own show. So obviously if he brings it up as if he's talking about him, it's going to do well for him also. So to me, I think like he's taking advantage of the moment. I think because of this that was said by Kendrick Lamar, Andrew Schultz is trying to piggyback off of that. I know that he does a video with Charlamagne saying that Kendrick referenced him for popularity. That is not true, bro. If anything, it's the other way around. Kendrick mentions a white comedian, and now we have Andrew Schultz, who is a white comedian, taking advantage of it, claiming that he's talking about him, when in reality, he never said a name. Genius will put Andrew Schultz there, but nobody could confirm who it is exactly Kendrick Lamar was talking about. So that's my thing. I think Andrew Schultz is going to realize whenever he has to do a show in LA that he's going to have to respond to all the things that he said on the internet. But like I said, like Hitta J3 said, when we try to protect somebody, they try to use it as a threat, try to call the police. We know what it is. But yeah, man, y'all tell me how y'all feel about this in the comments about Hitta J3, Kendrick Lamar's affiliates, going at Andrew Schultz for the comments that he made on Kendrick Lamar. Y'all tell me how y'all feel. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video, man. Peace. Keep it alleged.